What's up? 0 people. Nah, I got 1 people now. How's it going? My name is Dub Digital. I come up on the internet. I talk about cryptos because that's what I like to do most of the time. Tuesdays, Thursdays, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time ish. And sometimes if I'm feeling energized and stuff, Saturdays around 9:30 Pacific Standard Time ish. But I'll let you know. I'll let you know on Thursday if I'm doing that. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I get tired, man. Sometimes I get tired. Good day. Hello. Good day to you too, sir. We love you, Dub. I love you too, Tito. I love dogs that like to drink alcohol. Look at that. That's interesting. That's impressive, man. My dog could barely drink water. My dog's right here, Milo. No, he's hiding. He's shy, guys. He's shy. But if I put my dog on the stream, I'd probably get so much more views. Maybe I should. But he won't stay in one spot. Man. Let me know in the chat. Should I include my little doggy in the streams? There he is. See that? That's the Dub Dog. There he is. You guys are meeting my peoples. We love Milo too. Thank you. He's been a good boy today. It's been a good boy. He's definitely going to get some treats later. See? Yes. You got fans, bro. There he is. He's making his debut. He doesn't even know where to look. He has to bring Milo. Call him USTC now. Oh my. Well, he'll make another debut soon. I don't have much room over here, but we'll figure it out. Welcome. Let people filter on in here. I do this thing. It's kind of going off the hip. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Let's look at the heat check, guys. Bitcoin's been doing pretty good. It's moving into back up towards the all-time highs for Bitcoin. What is it? 69,000. We'll check. Give me a second. 6 people. Welcome. Make yourself at home. And make sure to follow me on X, please, if you're on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, make sure to follow me. And if you're on X, make sure to follow me on YouTube. I'm simultaneously streaming. It's always good. Follow me in multiple places. Sometimes people get dashed from these social media sites. So make sure to follow me in more than one spot. Let's do the heat check. Fear and Greed Index was in the light green last time. I looked at it last week. Now it's in the beginning stages of the darker green, 83, which constitutes the lower end of extreme greed. This is a good barometer to check just to see like the sentiment. Crypto is fueled on sentiment, especially euphoria phases. That's why we're all here. Everyone wants to get right back to the euphoria phase. It's been a while. If you were following me in last pump up in crypto from like what? 10,000, 64,000, 69,000. You know how the euphoria goes. If you're new, something you're going to learn. But let's check it out. Let me refresh, actually. I already did the filter. Bitcoin, 69,800. But it was sitting around 71,000, I think, yesterday. We'll check it out. All-time high so far, 73,000. Dipped down to about 61, 62,000. W'd up. This part of the W's higher than the other one. Looks pretty bullish. And now it's continuing its ascent to the heavens. Like to see the volume fall a little bit more, but I'm not going to complain. It's fine. It's going up. It could have went down. It's going up. Very nice. And that's what it looks like right now. We see if the volume's not really following, but we'll see. It's staying pretty high up for right now. We'll check it out. Let's check out the altcoins though. They're kind of showing out still. Ondo 78% over the 7-day. Internet Computer's been going wild, 63%. And that's so funny. I remember that when that popped out. If you guys are following me, I was streaming from Vegas. 2021, 2022, something like that. think it was 2021 actually. This thing first pops out, tanks to death. I'll show you actually. We were covering this thing all the way like when this was happening. Yeah, 2021. It was falling down to death and it stayed down for like 3 years. But now starting to come back to life. Just want to show you guys this is a good example of how cryptos have a life cycle. Just because it's down for an extended amount of time doesn't mean it's going to be down forever. Now ICP is getting a whole bunch of like, press and stuff. People are coming in who are new money. They're seeing this thing for the first time and they see this very low. A lot of cryptos popped up. They're looking at it as an opportunity. A lot of people that came in here look at it like a bag of milk. Everything is perspective, man. And the more people that come in, there's going to be more people who think this is an opportunity and it's the next thing to pop off versus people who stayed around. They probably rage quit and remember it falling down. Everything in crypto is perspective. My perspective of the space is definitely not the same as yours perspective of the space. Why? I got in a different time. I've seen different things. Your experiences paint your sentiment on what's happening here. So you got to remember that. And sometimes you got to put your mind in the state of, I know what I've went through, but what are the people coming in going to experience? ICP has a pretty good marketing, thing that's pretty interesting. I mean, internet computer, pretty easy to understand. Dog with hat, 17% up in the day. These memes are showing pretty good strength, to be quite honest. Solana memes. A lot of people are talking about the momentum shifting out of Solana memes and going into base memes. If you guys don't know, base is like a layer 2. Definitely has the support of Coinbase. It's supposed to be pretty cheap. What's the one? Brett is a meme coin on base. Normie. This thing looks relatively okay. I mean, this market cap's already huge. 52 million. That's crazy. I mean, what about this thing? The problem with CoinMarketCap is it doesn't show the whole entire coin's history. It just shows when it pops on CoinMarketCap. But there was like action that was happening way beyond here. So it's hard to tell how far this thing went up, but it's like W bottomed from the 13th to the 19th. We'll see how it goes. But, it's meme coin season, y'all. Normie's another one. What the heck? Thing is out. You can check it out on CoinGecko. But yeah, let's go at biggest losers. Gives us an idea of how much the top performers are doing versus the bottom performers, right? Whenever you have an amount of percentage that's like 16%, you go to the reverse side, 14%. The reason KuCoin's down is because KuCoin is getting hit with like, litigation. They're saying it's like some kind of some money laundering, blah, 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 whatever. It makes sense because, they closed down KuCoin a long time ago for U.S. investors. I used to have a KuCoin account and they sent out like, hey, get your stuff off by this date. So this is probably a long time in the making, but that's kind of like a special case because there's just a lot of bad press surrounding KuCoin right now. But Akash network, 9% down. So basically what we're seeing is the losers on 24-hour, half as much as the gainers on the 24-hour. And you can see that here. Biggest gainer on the 7-day, 67% versus 11% loss on the 7-day. The 1 hour is just kind of show you like the initial momentum in the day. Litecoin is up. What the heck? Litecoin ain't never up. Someone called Clint Westwood, my bad. Yo, if Litecoin starts going ham, it's time. The end is near. Just kidding. I got Litecoin. Litecoin's put me through a lot of stress though, man. Dang. A lot of stress in the last couple weeks. What's up, y'all? Where the hell's my dog? I lost him. Yo, Dub, I've met Bob Lucas last week. Great guy. And I've shared your YouTube channel with him. Maybe he's watching right now. I got love for Bob, man. I think he's a really straightforward dude. And I think he puts it He puts crypto investing in very simplistic terms. Macro investing is where it's at, especially when you're dealing with high vol assets, man. Over the long-term time frame, that's where you make the bulk of the money, less stress. I think that's the whole. That's it. That's it. This jumping in, jumping out, jumping in, jumping out. That's not how, like, big money managers manage their money. But that's cool that you met him, man. Very, very, very cool. If you guys haven't followed Bob Lucas, make sure to follow Bob Lucas. He's definitely one of the people I do keep an eye on his analysis, because we're just focused on the same time trajectory, same time horizon. Like I talk about it. I'm probably a very bad channel for a day trader. You probably get really annoyed of me. But you need to find the influencers that invest how you invest, how you prefer to invest, because their advice, even though it's not financial advice, is going to be different from someone who's trying to, do 50x leverage, get a couple blips and jump out. Like, you know what I mean? We have to be like all talking the same language here. And I think Bob really does that very well. He's very influential in the space. He was the creator of the 4-year cycle. And, all this talk about the left translated cycle, right translated cycle, that all stemmed from Bob. So I'm going to give Bob his due for sure. For sure. But thanks for mentioning me to him. I'm just a little minnow compared to Bob. Big dub. T-Pie was good. How you been? Yeah, I remember ICP dropped the hell down. It did. Listening, Blind Dave. What's good, bro? What's good? How you been? Good? How's the mining shed? Blind Dave's making a little mining shed. Merge mining, Litecoin, and Doge. So you guys want to check it out? If you want to learn how to do a mining rig kind of thing from the ground up, check out Blind Dave's YouTube channel. He does every Thursday a chat called Hash It Out that I come appear on in time to time, where we have some really, really based conversations. And then he's also doing like a solo kind of show where he talks about getting his mining operations set up. Something I want to get into too, because you got to worry about it, right? You're seeing all these exchanges go down. What if like KYC gets too crazy? What if this and that and blah, blah, blah? One way to always participate and get what he calls virgin coins without any kind of like track record, might be like, used for explicit or nefarious means. That's one way to dollar cost average into it. Always have access to the digital economy. Supporting the network, baby. Supporting the network. But we're going to look at real quick. We could look at Bitcoin USD to go on to start with. Starting the monthly, we'll work back because it's always good to start off from a high level view, just so you don't get caught up in the weeds. That is the beauty of macro investing. You look over the long-term time horizon and you understand where it's going. You start from very far out and you zoom in, right? The problem is a lot of people start zoomed in and they lose track of the bigger picture. We never do that here, okay? So I talked about 150 being a good place to exercise some caution. I think that's a pretty generally accepted target, I would say, even, from Novogratz to a lot of people, analysts that I've been following. The main point of contention is just basically when that's going to occur. Like, I mentioned Bob. He mentioned the left translated cycle. I am of that same opinion. I've been saying 2024 is going to be the year everything's lining up based on what I'm going to show you in these TA charts, along with the election, along with the halving, So I just don't really see a future where this thing extends significantly into 2025. I think the reason a lot of people are saying that is because they're just looking at 2017 and just laying it over verbatim and ignoring all the other cycles like 2013. Like I've said, guys, 2013 right here is a lot more synonymous with what's going on right here versus 2017. Structure doesn't even look right. They're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, in my humble opinion. But with that said, the reason also is, if you go down to the weekly, let's start ironing down here. You'll see that the RSI on Bitcoin is starting to rise up into a rising wedge. Things could stay overbought for an extended amount of time. There's a saying that says markets could stay like irrational longer than you can stay solvent. Yo, bro, keep it down. I'm live streaming. I'm live streaming. Longer than you can stay solvent, right? And to be quite honest, where this structure ends is approximately around October, September timeframe, right around the end of the election or right around the election. Okay. And right at the height of this, the only time it's reached that kind of like overbought stature was in April of 2013. That's funny. We talked about the structure being very the same. Okay. So just because we're overbought doesn't mean we're going to just plummet down right away. Whoops. Okay. So let's move in. I like the weekly the most. You guys could jump into the daily just to see the chop and stuff. But to be honest, I'm not really interested in what's going to happen the next couple of weeks. I'm interested in what's going to happen in the next couple months towards the end of the year, right? Each of these time frames tells you a different amount. Month is what's going to happen in the next couple of years. Week, next couple of months. Day, next couple of weeks. So on and so forth as you iron down. Okay, so like I said, guys, just want to point something out so you can be quite aware. Where the heck is it? Rectangle. This right here, see that spot right there that I highlighted in very faint red, I guess? I could do it more. Yeah, let's do it more. My bad. And Bob, if you're here, happy to have you. I'd be very surprised, but you know, I'm humbled. I'm humbled. Okay, so basically, what I'm trying to show you guys is this. A lot of the same things that were happening when we first broke above the all-time high in 2017, I mean in 2020, you know, the 2017 all-time high is happening now. We had some chop. The reason is this is a technical line of resistance. It's a huge technical line of resistance. This is why I'm saying nothing goes up in a straight line, especially when there's history to look back on it. Everyone's looking at the same thing. Every trader in the world is saying, you know what, we're going to probably hit some resistance here. We're probably going to hit resistance here. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And guess what happens? We get some resistance here. But all throughout Bitcoin's history, you've gotten a resistance there. We've even got resistance around this part, right? Look at that. It didn't even break above. I guess I can do this again. So every single time we've approached the all-time high of the previous cycle, we've either rejected, you've got chop, it just stalled, something of that effect has happened. But every single time we go above, we break above, we break above. So when people come here and you probably hear it, they probably are new to the space, they come up into crypto and they say, oh, we're going to go back down to 36,000 or 20 or 17,000. When has that ever occurred in Bitcoin's history? It really never has, man. Ever. Bitcoin's whole macro direction is up and to the right. This is not me just speculating. Maybe some people speculate, but I'm showing you right here. You don't have to speculate on anything. I'm showing you right now. Chop, 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 break above. Chop, 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 break above. Chop, 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 break above. Guess what's going to come in the next couple months? We're going to break above. Bitcoin's going to go higher. I think it's going to be, you know, I don't know the exact trajectory is going to be. I'm not going to do some kind of Elliott wave thing. Elliott wave, in my opinion, is helpful as an aggregate tool, not the best tool. All you got to know is probably towards the end of the year, Bitcoin is probably going to be well above $100,000. And this is why I drew this graphic. As this thing plays out on the chart, as time goes on, these candles are going to print, and it's going to print well into these shades of red. These shades of red, the darker it gets, is going to be a visual indication to us that we're going higher. This is great. We're making more profit. This is great. But the redder it gets, the more visually you can see on my chart that is getting riskier and riskier. Because just as every single time you broke above the last cycle, it's went higher, it's always retraced at some point. To suggest that it will never go back down is ridiculous. You're going to hear that though. Why do I know? Because I've been through like 3 cycles already. You're going to hear that happens every time. Whenever you start to hear someone challenge this, know that the end is near. Bitcoin is new digital gold. It's a transition. Get into Bitcoin when you still can. It's going to be the new dollar. The end's coming. And that's why I like to tell you guys, it's good to know TA, but be aware of your surroundings too. Be intuitive of your surroundings. Don't try to force your opinion on what's going to happen onto other people. Listen to other people's opinion, and then you could better maneuver of what's going to happen. Use them as an indicator, as a preceding indicator. Because if you understand charting is basically the representation of psychology, mass psychology of an asset on a price chart. People have to make their mind up of the asset before they hit buy or sell, right? So if you could talk to people before they've hit buy or sell, and you do that intentionally as kind of like sampling the overall like populace, you can kind of have a feel. It's not a science, but have a vibe of what's going on here. As long as you can keep your head clean of that mass psychosis. And that's exactly what it is. It becomes mass psychosis. That's why people buy things at extremely high prices and they sell them at extremely low prices. It's mass psychosis. 22 people, what's up? CB Thurs joining us. Oh, Crypto Blood's joining on Thursday? Cool. Yeah, first time I talked to Crypto Blood, man. I used to listen to him in 2017. So that's pretty interesting. I got to talk to him. Never thought I would. Damn Virgin Coins. Hey, what up, Dub? What's good? Been always using fib retracement, but now got the fib channel in play too. Ooh-wee. Yeah, fib channel is not very much used. Not used at all, and I'm not even sure why. Up and to the right, not everything. See, the fib channel works well on oscillator coins, right? Or coins that haven't, not fib channel, Fibonacci, not fib levels, right? Work well on oscillators that don't have a lot of history. But if you zoom out and you have the history on the coin, we'll start to see that like all these impulses and comes down, like you'll start to see that, oh, this thing is going up and to the right. And if it's going up and to the right, or even down and to the left, right? You can use fib channels to help understand better, right? Because it serves as levels. If you can look at this, it's not exact, but every single time it comes into contact around a level, there's obviously hitting them pretty cleanly, at least on the monthly, except for this right here. That was very clean. This is pretty clean. That was extremely clean. This is clean. It's not perfect, but it's better than nothing. 25 people, what's good? Up and to the right, baby. Did you hear about Jasmine Panasonic partnership? Hey, welcome back, X marks the spot. I'm going to give you some credit. You came through here on this channel and you're like, Jasmine, before it popped off. So welcome back. Did not hear about that. How is Jasmine doing? But thanks for dropping that alpha. We really appreciate it. We like alpha out here. And I just want to stress, guys, you never know who shows up to the channel. This is the OG channel. Tend to get more. Am I still there? You guys see me? Let me know. Chat. Let me know if you can still hear me. No? I gotta know. I think so. 27 people. I must still have people. Okay. Cool. My thing dropped out for a second. But Jasmine was doing this for a long time. But most recently started rising up. I don't know when you came through, probably around here. Thanks for that. That was hot. What was the measured move percent in 2013 versus 2017? Yeah, I could go back. I mean, from the last all-time high. Let me go on the week. It's probably better to see. 28 people, what's up? Please give me a like, subscribe, or whatever, man. Just do something. Let's see. All right, so from 2013 to 17 peak, from all-time high of 2013 to peak of 2017, That impulse was 1,465%. Woo-wee. And then from the 2017 all-time high to the 2021 peak was 256%. Now, with that said, though, there was like, okay, so if I'm comparing this kind of structure to 2017, that would suggest the pump occurred in two phases. In 2017, it only occurred on one phase, right? So if we were to measure 2017 from the two-phased pump, the first pump was like, let's say right here, 11 or 1,000%. In total, it was 8,000%. But from the second pump was smaller, 363%. Okay. So just from the diminishing of this kind of like pump, it just indicates to me that this was like a massive mega single pump. This is too small to even like be like, that's why I don't think they're the same. And I'm surprised that people are comparing 2017 to what's happening now. It's not even anything like the same. You know, I can do like the percentages and the math of still like, and try to take into account of diminishing returns, like what this would be compared to this. But like, to be honest, like, I'm not going to bore you guys. I'll come with that like next time I stream. But what I'm saying is this, you know, if you take like something like that, put it in here. Where is October? Around here. Yeah, I don't see why it can't pop off up into there. You know, I'm even saying get offensive at 150. So I'm being pretty rational about it, I think. I don't like to ever take like an extreme like situation and be like, oh, I'm going to expect that to happen. No, I'll be happy if it happens, but I'll take like a measured move or something like that, and then I'll cut it in half. I'm trying to be conservative here. So I think it's conservative to say that 150K on Bitcoin. I think that's pretty conservative, you know. We shall see. And I think it's definitely doable with the whole genesis of the halving like occurring and mainly the ETF. My bad. I said that in reverse order. My fault. 30 people. What's good? Charting 101, buy low, sell high. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. But it ain't sexy, huh? X marks the spot. It ain't sexy. And then people say, "Oh, you bought that? You're dumb. It ain't going up. Like you could have got a meme coin, this and that." It's like you don't understand the formula. It just takes some patience, you know. And in fact, you know, I think that's the best way to go tax-wise too. It's more tax efficient. You buy on the bottom. It might take a year or two or whatever, but then guess what? You pay 20%. You got to keep 20% more of the profit, at least in the United States. Like, see, a lot of people are jumping in, jumping out, racking up a huge tax liability. Been there and done that. I got screwed. Everyone's getting all like rich, right? What's the good of it? Is it if you make from $100, you make $1 million? Okay, you owe the tax liability on that. And if you get greedy and try one more time to get wrecked, guess what? You still owe the tax liability. This is the thing. It's just safer. The risk of like running up a tax bill is lower. The risk of jumping into risky projects just because you're not thinking right is lower. It's less stress. Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. You can take a little portion of your bag, a little bit. Jump in, jump out, try to make a lot of money. That's cool. You know, but just be aware of the tax liability. I'm telling you guys, this is a pro tip. Something that's like so ignored in crypto, and it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. People always think this time is different. Last cycle was the same with digital gold, etc. It's the same freaking, guys, it's the same old rhetoric. It's the same script. It doesn't change. It's not, they don't even come with new stuff. It's just people that haven't heard the scripts are getting it for the first time, and they just say it again. They say it again. They say it again. You know, like, you know, this whole thing with Larry Fink and real world assets. That fool said that like 6 months ago. But now it's starting to pop up now. Like now the narrative is starting to catch on. Everything is just narrative. It's all narratives, right? People are going to come in, see Bitcoin for the first time, and they're going to say, oh, it's not $1 million yet. One day they're going to say that you were early to Bitcoin because you got Bitcoin under 100K. Really? Are you serious? Because honestly, it's not that early. It's not that early. But see, that's what people tell them. I don't know if they're right or wrong. I mean, yeah, guys, in 100 years, maybe it's low on Bitcoin, but I ain't going to be alive. So what does it matter? That's a pro tip. 30 people, what's up? WAN pumping nice today. It is? I like WAN pumping. That makes my bag bigger. Make it big. Whoa. Okay, WAN. That's what's up. Congratulations, Wandalorians. This is a big day. Well, we got a long way to go. But I'll take it. I'll take it any day of the week. See, and this is the thing, guys. Look. Don't ever count a good project out. The only way you lose money in crypto is if you get rug pull. Okay? This is what I'm saying. Jumping in meme coins, you can make a lot of money. But you make a lot of money because you're assuming a whole lot of risk. Okay? Getting in solid projects that have like real use case and utility, and they're working and they have teams and they're developing and they're constantly working no matter what the bear market or the bull market's doing, you're never out of the race. You can only get out of the race if you get rugged. Trust me. Trust me. Because at a certain point of the cycle, I'm not saying WAN doesn't deserve this. WAN's been working up really hard. I work with WAN directly. But like what I'm trying to say is this. As long as you stay in the game and you can get to the euphoria phase, everything in crypto has its day in the sun. I'm telling you. 30, what a 40 cents? I like that. Now that's still early. There are some coins that are still early. As X Marks the Spot said, charting 101, buy low, sell high. It's really not that hard, guys. I'm a big fan of WAN Chain. Heard about Zoo Games becoming player chain with Zoo transitioning to gamer. Do you know details? Just hope my bag of wasp is not dropping to 0. I do know details, but I can't share them with you. It's not time, man. It's not time. But yeah, just in general, I'm a big fan of the Zoo team, the player chain team. I'm not that team. Good team, in my opinion. Smart guys. Yeah, Wasp not going to 0. Me either, man. I got a big thing of Wasp too. See, like this is the thing. I probably know more than 99% about the WAN chain ecosystem than most people, and you guys do too. I probably got a lot of Wandalorians following me. And the reason I say this is you're not going to know everything in crypto. If you go around in crypto and you try to get into every single thing that's hot, you're always going to be late. You're always going to be getting dumped on or sold on. There's projects in them and the DEX is in them. You just start investing in them. If you're sold on the layer 1, be early to the layer 1. And when the layer 1 coin starts to pop, then there's a lot of opportunity there because you're already positioned. That's what I'm doing with WAN Chain, right? Very overlooked layer 1, very capable, one of the best interoperability plays in the space, in my humble opinion. They're leading the pack and no one knows it. And that's what you have to do, guys. What do you like? Do you understand interoperability? Do you understand DeFi? Do you understand real world assets? Do you understand meme coins? What do you understand? It's probably different than me, right? Hone in on what you understand. Like, double down on what you understand because you're able to identify opportunities that no one else understands. You could try to do it all. You're just going to fail. And I don't hate to say that, right? But like, let's be honest. When you look at a good investor, they're not doing everything. They niche down. They do what they do. They stay in their hole, right? and then they do it again and again and again. The reason you don't want to be a jack of all trades is because it's better to be a specialist in one thing and join a community that there's a bunch of different kinds of specialists in. And that's why I think that, community is valuable. Your network is your net worth, You there? Yes. We see you. Man, I took my Ethernet cable out. Dang. Effing. My bad. Next time there'll be better internet. Tuesdays, man. But yeah. I mean, look, guys, we can go and look at Bitcoin D. Bitcoin's D. Let's look at Bitcoin's D. How's it looking? It's looking good. Looking good. So this is it on the monthly, guys. We start on the monthly, then you go to the weekly and the whatever. Monthly and weekly is good enough. You want to get into the weeds and all that, see everything, every single move, go to the daily. I don't think you need to drop any farther than the daily. And if you don't have a trading view account, what are you doing? Stop relying on everyone else's TA. Learn your own TA. Okay? I could get hit by a comet tomorrow. You guys need to start upping your skills. Trading view account is free. Don't pay for the extra one. Trust me. I used to have the extra one. It's not worth it. You can get everything you need done just on the free plan. Okay? So basically, look, this is what do you call it? A descending triangle. It's not very good. It's pretty bearish. Typically bearish. If you look at the Bitcoin chart and you look at the bear markets, it's just full on the descent of descending triangles. Bitcoin dominance as a whole, all the money in Bitcoin itself over its history is in a huge descending triangle. That suggests to me at some point the probability of it dropping is greater than it rising, much greater, right? So we'll go to the weekly. It's reloading, my bad. 27 people, it's good. Look, this rising wedge dropped. We have a bigger rising wedge, about 3 times bigger, took 3 times longer. It's about to drop. In fact, it's in the process of dropping. If you see right here, see that? There's always, whenever something goes somewhere, just like in physics, the law of inertia. And an item stays in motion or stays at rest until a force is applied upon it, right? In these cases, it's buying force or selling force. And typically when something starts to move, it takes a good amount of effort to get it to really go. But once it starts going, it stays in motion until a large force is applied upon it in the opposite direction. Think in terms of trading as physics. Effing internet, hold up. Should I get my cord? Probably get my cord. Am I still there? I don't know. I think I'm still there. I'm gonna keep talking. If I'm not there, let me know. But yeah, this thing's gonna drop at some point. We only have until the end of the structure. The end of the structure is eerily around the halving. That's about 21 days. Less than a month. I think we're going to start to see some big drops here on the monthly. RSI is higher than the weekly, but still. I just don't see, like, we might have a breakup, right? Just like we had one right here. I guess that's a caveat. We might have something like this. Like this. But I just want you to know, like, ultimately where these things are going is down. They ultimately go down. They might go up in the short run just because Bitcoin might go ham and all the money gets sucked into it like a magnet. But eventually, the sponge gets squeezed out. And over its life cycle, the sponge has only done nothing but get squeezed out into the broader altcoin economy. Lol. Do you feel Bitcoin is deep state distraction to train us to think 4-year cycles and utility coins have business purposes to eliminate mundane jobs? That was a very compact question. Hold on. So I definitely think Bitcoin is not of the very like, I don't think the innocent Bitcoin story is what it actually is. I think Bitcoin has been developed. Bitcoin is a breakthrough in human technology that was not possible until recently. And you're telling me an invention like this, and that's what it is. Financial technology is a breakthrough in human technology. Just got leaked onto the internet for the good of everyone? No, I don't believe that. I think there's something more sketchy going on that I don't really understand. But what I will say is Satoshi Nakamoto, I don't think is just like some nice dude. I think it's some kind of government agency, some collection of government agencies, something, right? Now, in that case, I think Bitcoin was the doorway. It was the conduit to usher us in to the new financial system because the powers that be, the central planners, that's what they're called, the central banks, which are central economic planners, know that their current system is dying. I mean, hell, you ask me, I knew that. And I'm just a dude in a room. I'm a guy on the internet. So, like, I'm not even a PhD. They definitely know that their system is long in the tooth because every single fiat currency that's ever existed since ancient China has blown up. It's blown up, man. So this one is longer than it's supposed to be. So now they can have a blow up like every fiat currency has blown up before, or they can get smarter and learn from their past mistakes and usher in a parallel system right at the tail end of the dying system. And that's what I think is happening. Don't you think it's funny that in the face of ultimate inflation, at the point when the inflation is getting exponential, Bitcoin shows up as the antidote, the ultimate deflation? One Bitcoin can absorb the whole economy. It doesn't matter how much it's denominated in because it's split up, being able to split up into 1,000,000 Satoshis. Don't you think it's funny? The perfect thing just showed up. Yeah, I think it's funny too. And utility coins to eliminate jobs. I don't think they eliminate jobs by themselves. What I think all these coins are going to ultimately be, and what I think cryptocurrency ultimately is a way for humans to pay robots. You can't give a robot cash. What the hell is it going to do with cash? A robot doesn't have a bank account. A robot would need a digital currency that is in itself finality. That's what cryptocurrency actually is. You know what I mean? So, like, when you think about it, and this is why I say cryptocurrency is the play right now, but I don't know if it's going to be the biggest play moving forward. What I do think is going to be the biggest play moving forward, or one of them, is the robotics. I think the people who own the robots are going to make all the money. I think the people who own the robots are going to have all the crypto given to them, right? Because robots are going to be the replacement to expensive labor. We all know there's a problem in terms of costs, in terms of expenses, right? Everything's more expensive. The minimum wage is getting raised. It doesn't go down, right? So things won't go, like, I'm not saying that's the reason everything's expensive, but it doesn't help the cost of labor. One thing that I know that they can definitely do is take out the labor. And now with the advent of AI and robots, that's actually possible. Businesses don't have to pay people. They don't have to give them raises. They don't got to give robots freaking benefits. They don't got to do any of that. And I'm not saying that's good for humans. It's horrible for humans, but it's good for business. You know what I'm saying? So you need to don't think how you feel. Think of what's happening. Detach yourself from how you feel. And once you do that, you can position yourself better. I think these robots are going to be paid in crypto. The crypto is going to go through the robot directly into the owner's wallet. The robots are going to be prohibitively expensive, so not everyone can buy them. But business owners are going to want to rent them or lease them, or people who don't want to do their chores anymore are going to have them go out and buy things. I can see it all happening now. So ultimately, I don't think the long-term view for human labor is great at all. So what I'm saying to you is, if you're going to make some money, you better do it soon, because these things are coming quick. I mean, I remember in 2000, what was it? I was in college still, so 2011, 2012. I remember I was tripping every single time I see an advent in like technology, I kind of have a mental like little existential crisis. I remember when Coachella, when they had the first like laser representation or like hologram of Tupac, and like the whole stage got quiet. Like people were freaking out because they thought Tupac was still alive or what, he's dead. Right? I kind of freaked out too. That was my first like real like peek through the window in the veil to see like, okay, this stuff is actually happening. Like the Jetson stuff's actually coming out. And like I remember Boston Dynamics or Robotics, my bad. And they basically do all the like the robots and like stuff. It was clunky, it was ugly, but like these things are advancing so fast. It's insane. It's insane. So you better go with it, man. You better go with it. The train is coming. It's coming. Good question, Tito. What was the question? Oh, about Wasp. Max Kaiser just loves the dominance chart dropping the chart. Wait, Max Kaiser just loves the dominance dropping chart. Oh, he does? I haven't listened to Max in so long. There's people I used to listen to Ivan on Tech. I mean, a lot of people. Altcoin Daily. I mean, that was 2017 for me. I don't listen to a couple people now. In fact, not even that many. I mean, I listen to Bob Lucas. I listen to DIY investing a lot in terms of like little altcoins, like what he's doing. But I mean, I know he listens to a lot of Bob Lucas too, because basically all his theories are like surrounding about Bob Lucas. He'll probably admit that to you as well. I listen to Blockchain Backer. He's not as crypto native, but he definitely has experience in trading. I mean, and then it's like smaller channels, man. Like I listen to Blind Dave. I listen to people like that, you know. I don't like to keep my I like honest, but not too many. I don't want too many inputs because then I get confused myself. You know, like I want my main thought to be mine. I don't want it to be painted and influenced too much, you know? So like if you're just starting this journey, you need to have a wide breadth of people and people you listen to in crypto. So you like can hear different perspectives and then you can go back and research and be like, you know, I don't really agree with that, or I think this or that. And then you can start like honing in who you might not always agree with, but always has like some rationale, you know, who has good things. Maybe they think in a way that you typically don't. They bring things to your attention or to your awareness that you just typically don't. I pretty much have that. And in fact, like I've come to trust my analysis much more at times. And you want to get to that point where you can like fish for yourself. Because to be honest, guys, over the years, I used to doubt myself a lot. And that more times than not was a mistake. The longer I was in crypto, I started realizing I'm on this more than some people I'm listening to. In fact, like, why am I listening to some people? But that's just like a thing of learning. You know, if I listened to my initial thought on Bitcoin when I heard about it in 2013, I would have went way more ham, but I doubted myself. And after Bitcoin went up in 2017 to 20,000 bucks, I said, I knew it. I ain't never doubting myself again. And I'm definitely going to stick to that. 31 people, what's up? Solid theory, Dub. Thank you. Bitcoin halving is every election year. Is that a coincidence? It's definitely not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence, man. And to be honest, don't you think it's always funny? Bitcoin starts going up right around the time they do another round of printing. It's almost like they're throwing money into the sponge. Because guys, like it or not, they just made a whole new asset class. Without Bitcoin, the inflation would be insane. Like, you got to think about this, man. This is like a social economic engineering masterclass. Everyone just thinks, oh yeah, Bitcoin's this new thing. Bitcoin showed up because it was the only way to have some kind of like civil transition. That's what I really think. I really think that. If you haven't read the H.G. Griffin's Creature from Jekyll Island, you need to read this. It's going to explain to you everything about central banking. If you don't understand central banking, you don't know crypto. It has to go up because it has to. It has to. Trust me. I'm not going to go any further. Read the book. And after you're done with that, read The Great Taking. I'm putting you on game right now. Smart. NVIDIA robots look mad. I mean, there's a reason. There's definitely a reason. The Pelosi's went long on NVIDIA at the bottom. It's definitely a reason. And don't you think it's funny? Remember that chip shortage? The whole thing with the China and the superconductors a couple years ago? It's all pointing to robotics. Just saying. Dub, what's your degree in? Business. I have a BS in business administration with a emphasis in management. But I always took a liking more to economics. If I could do it again, it'd be economics. Economics just like clicks for me. I remember I saw in my 100 level econ class, I was just like sitting there, and then the teacher drew a supply demand curve, and I was like, what? And like sometimes in my life, I just get like these like zones in. I'm like, oh, that looks important, and just like zoned in. I was just like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And like I just find that like economics really clicked for me. It was like God-given gift for me, man. Just makes sense. 36 people, what's up? Bitcoin came out the year I lost millions in real estate. It was called the financial crisis. Bitcoin came out 2009. So like 2008 was the GFC, right? Great Financial Crisis, 2008. I wasn't old enough to have millions in real estate, but I read about it, you know, and I remember in 2011, I was just trying to become like an adult, you know, like know things. So I started reading the newspaper. I know it's probably not the best place to start, but it was where I started. And I just knew enough about economics from my like 1 or 2 courses so far that like, oh, they're printing a lot of money. That's not really good. Why are they doing that? And that was my awakening process, you know, like, why would they do that? They're going to make the dollar go down. And then I look into it and then I was like, oh yeah, they know that. But why would they want to do that? Like they know it's bad. And then you look farther and further and further, and you look behind the curtain and you realize that the world ain't as rosy as you painted it. You might not want to look. Sometimes it's a little uglier than you'd like. And then Bitcoin pops up right when they print like a whole bunch of money. Don't you think it's funny? I do. I think it's hilarious. Who's the author of The Great Taking? Shoot. One second. I have it like right here. I just sent it to one of my friends. You guys can find it on YouTube. David Rogers Webb. You can find the whole audiobook on YouTube. It's right there. David Rogers Webb. It's 4 hours long, and it's going to tell you. So basically, Creature from Jekyll Island is going to set the stage. Well, okay, here's the thing. If you want to know the history of money, you don't know the history of money, go to Mike Maloney. He's on YouTube. All this stuff is free, pretty much. He's on YouTube, and go to the 10 Hidden Secrets of Money. That's a series that's going to teach you from pretty much golden ancient times to where we are today and central banking and everything in between. He's going to lay it out. You're going to have a solid understanding. I have that downloaded on a hard drive so I can show my kids like that's a solid start, right? Then you're going to read Creature from Jekyll Island, which is going to explain the central banking system and why central banking inherently is evil and how it funds forever wars. And like that's why we have so much like corruption in the world today, because there's no gold standard or backed system that prevents people from abusing it. They just make more and more and more money to bribe more and more and more people. So it really lays out like how central banking in itself is like not that great of entity. And then then you go to The Great Taking. It's going to explain the next and the last phase of the whole taking over the world economy, right? So basically throughout history, they've inflated and they've inflated and they've inflated. That's why you could buy a whole meal for a dime way back when. People could live off $2,000, $500, like those $2,000 are like a yearly salary, guys. Now, like you can't even like live comfortably in California for $100,000. You know what I mean? So like over time, the central bank has to print because money in itself is debt. If you reduce the debt, you implode the system because there's not enough money to liquefy the system. So you have to make more and more and more and more. That's pushed up real estate. Like we mentioned, Xbox Spot talked about it. Pushes up real estate, pushes up cars, pushes up cost of living, pushes up tuition, pushes up everything. And then at some point of their choosing, they just will decide not to reliquify the system. They've trained people like a Pavlovian dog to keep thinking, oh, they're going to print, they're going to print, they're going to print, they're going to print forever. But at one point, they're not. And everything's going to go bankrupt. And at that point, anything that was bought with debt will be taken by the bank to liquefy their balance sheet. That's what the Great Taking talks about, how everything legally has been put into place to take your houses that you bought on mortgage, to take your cars, to take pretty much like land you've leased out with a freaking like lent money. Like if you don't own it outright, you don't have the deed, it's taken. Bank accounts taken, bail-in, like all kinds of stuff. So like if you want to hold the game plan, read those books, watch that series. It's going to put it all in perspective for you. And that's why I'm saying, you know, make sure to take some money out of this cycle, pay some things off, put yourself in a better situation, because a lot of people think that the debt's just going to get wiped away. I mean, that's not necessarily true. They could just transition into the next system. But if you had all your money in the bank account that got bailed in, you have a whole bunch of debt still, but you can't pay your debt. See, that's what that book talks about. This is the stuff that I think about at night. It's weird, huh? I know. A weird guy, man. Look at US debt clock in the bottom right corner. There's a ratio of crypto, $2 past and present. If you guys don't know US debt clock or shadow stats, if you guys haven't been to shadow stats, make sure to check it out. I'm gonna try to show it right now. It's basically maintained by the gentleman who used to work for the US government, shadowstats.com. And he used to calculate the inflation via a specific equation in the 1970s. He tells everyone that equation has changed over time, that how they calculate the inflation has changed over time. So a lot of people are saying, oh, the inflation is 2%. But then he uses the method used in the 70s, and it's way higher than, it's like double digits. They will never tell you this, because if you knew this, you know that the system is screwing you. It's screwing you. Let me try to find it. Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. So this is US shadow stats. If you're interested in that, I think you have to subscribe to get that stuff. But he basically breaks down all that stuff. Right? Employment, inflation, CPI calculator, all kinds of stuff. And then let me put up US debt clock. Why does this matter for crypto? Because crypto is just denominated in the inflation that they're doing. Everything is denominated in the inflation. This is usdebtclock.org. $2 past and present. The bottom where? Bottom right corner. Well, there's a lot of things here now. Dollar to crypto ratio now, 10.22 to 1. Dollar to crypto ratio in 2013. What? Yeah, you guys check this out. There's like, it's kind of like daunting because the national debt goes up and up and up. I remember when I really started, like 2017, the national debt was 27 trillion. Now it's 34 trillion. Look how fast it's going. It's insane. Debt per citizen, $102,000. Debt per taxpayer, over $250,000 per taxpayer. So it basically means once a baby's born in the United States, they owe money, and a lot of money. Everything's underfunded. Largest budget items is 1.7 trillion on Medicare and Medicaid. Social Security is 1.4 trillion. Defense and war. That's crazy. That's crazy. Was it? Am I even saying these right? I'm getting confused just looking at this. But I just heard it's a bipartisan issue too. Republicans, Democrats, they're all on board of removing Social Security and Medicare. It's a big old party. It's a big old group and you're not in it. Whatever. I think I messed it up. There is no good political party. I'm sorry to break it to you. They're all in on this together. We got to where we are today because we've had a series of not just Republican presidents, not just Democratic presidents, both staggered. It's called a Hegelian dialectic. Look it up. I'm in the middle of reading The Creature from Jekyll Island now. Good, Earl. It's going to pay off dividends for you. If you guys don't take some money and buy books or some kind of education, there's a lot of education online now, which is great. But some of the best investments I ever had were just taking $30 from my paycheck and buying a new book and reading it. I don't read that well, so I get audiobooks. Listen to it on my way from work, walking on the treadmill, fitting it into things where I'm just already kind of wasting time, might as well make it productive. Those are investments in yourself that will never be taken away from you. And in fact, you could teach it to your kids, you could teach it to your friends, you could teach it to your family. If you're not investing in your education, not investing in yourself, there's no guarantee that even if you make a lot of money, you're going to keep it. I'll have to take a read. Seize my trust checking account over 2021 capital gains. Yeah, I remember you telling me that. See? Everything in this system is yours because they let you have it. At the end of the day, if everything goes bust, what you have in your hand is what you have. They almost succeeded in dissolving my trust. No good. I'm here. Dropping. What's good? What's good? Very cool. A little different on the back end, but it's definitely something I'm very passionate talking about because I entered crypto through understanding the issues of the economics in this country and across the globe. It's not just a siloed in America. It's called central banking. Every country has one. And the central banks are starting to lower rates. I'm kind of like talking about that on my crypto, my X account. The second I saw the Bank of Switzerland cutting their rates, then Mexico came out to cut their rates. And I just posted an article on my X account where the ECB, European Central Bank, is talking about cutting rates. ECB cuts their rates. Guess who's going to follow? America will eventually cut their rates. Why does this matter? It matters because if you understood the underpinning of the economy, you understand the forces of economics, you know that what it's going to do for crypto. It's going to inflate crypto to the sky. Lower rates means money easier to get. More people could take loans. Prices go up in the economy when money's easier to get because everything's based on debt. The reason houses are so expensive is because of 30-year mortgage. The reason tuition is so expensive is because it's subsidized government student loans. Everything is propped up to the sky based on freaking debt. So if debt becomes easier to get, guess what's going to happen to asset prices? They go up. Now that's good for people who have assets. It's bad for the other part of your life where you got to buy food and this and that. It's a catch-22, but if it's going to happen to us, might as well make it benefit you than get run over. 38 people, what's up? Best book I ever read was Wall Street and the Bolshevik Revolution. I was declassified. It's declassified State Department records released after 50 years. Interesting. What's your favorite books, guys? Help people out. What are your favorite books? You might want to buy them. They might not be available forever. Throughout history, there have been periods of book burning or changing books or banning books. But once you got in your head, they can never do that to you. Help each other out. Japan, too. Japan actually created the whole zombie economy model. Was it the 1980s? The 80s? Yeah. Japan started hyperinflating their currency, the yen, long time ago. I think it works a little better because they're smaller, and they do produce stuff. United States is huge and they don't produce nothing. It's not really working the same. So the biggest capitalist pigs created the first communist government to split the world into half. Wall Street and Bolshevik Revolution is free. The PDF is online. Beautiful. You can get a lot of this stuff for free. It's either on YouTube. You don't have to buy things anymore. It's insane. There is no excuse. You need to do this. There's other books too. If you want to learn a little bit more about the basics, very basics, like start trying to get into the investor mind state. I know a lot of people talk illy about Robert Kiyosaki, but to be honest, his book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, is such a great start. It's like the biggest thing I took away from that is like work for things and skills, not money, because money's always devaluing. Skills have exponential return because they're free to implement and you always have them. And things appreciate from like the inflation that money's going through. Like that's a great place to start. Rich Dad Poor Dad too. Read a lot of books, man. Lot of books. Also Mike Maloney's like History of Gold and Silver. I think it's his only book, but it talks about why gold used to be premier money and still is one of the biggest forms of collateral for central banks. I mean, central banks say gold is a barbarous relic, but that's not really true because they have gold as a tier 1 form of capital ever since Basel III. We're not going to know what Basel III is. 40 people, what's good? DLT will sort these bankers out. See, I think DLT will be used by the bankers, man. I think that like there's going to be a fight. Obviously, the CBDC hasn't even rolled out yet. And I think the CBDC will ultimately fail, but it will take time to fail, just like it took time for it to roll out. I think my time in crypto has underscored one thing to me, and it's been that all this stuff for the economy, even though we can see it, we're forward thinking, it takes longer than we think. This whole Bitcoin thing, man, I thought about this in 2013. The second I heard about it, I said, like, wait, so like you could cut up a Bitcoin in a million pieces? Like I could just I don't need one. Like basically, like I asked my friend, hey, what happens when they run out of Bitcoin? They're like, okay, then we'll just use Satoshis. I'm like, oh, so like this thing's infinite money because I understand what's happening in the money supply. But look how long it's taken. I'm down near over 10 years into this, man. So how long will the whole CBDC phase take? And how long will it take for them to hyperinflate that thing? I don't think it's going to be instantaneous. So yes, I think at some point, cryptocurrency will actually triumph over the centralized alternatives they're going to give us. But how long will that take? They'll probably, and we're assuming the internet stays up. I mean, look, you got to think about it, man. People who like plot this stuff, it's pretty crazy. It's actually like insane. It's actually like they're sociopathic. And when you're messing with sociopaths, you can't take anything off the table. I mean, if they start losing their grip, you think they're just going to graciously accept defeat? No, they might do some crazy stuff. They're like, it's that kid, right? Like I used to play basketball a lot. I played basketball in college. But like when I was in elementary school and you would beat a kid or a teen, the kid will like, before he loses, he'll take his ball and go home. I'm thinking like, oh yeah, I lose? Give me the internet. Oh yeah, power grid, boom. I don't know. I might be thinking like too far out there, but I just can't see like some one organization that go this far to try to capture the world's wealth, like all of it. Like reasonable people would say, you know what, $1 billion is good. I'm chilling. I'm good. But like it takes a special person to just keep going and going and going and going. And I want it all. It's pretty crazy. 39 people, what's up? Fave book, Confessions of Economic Hitman. Oh yeah. That really opened my eyes. Imagine trading countries like stocks. Yeah. I've heard of that book. I got to read it. I've got to read that book. Basically talks about like how central banking like they can punish countries economically. I mean, look, sanctions are probably a very, very small piece of the pie, but that's what happens. You know, you don't want to play the game, bang, economy's ruined. Death toll goes up. Like, it's wild, man. It's wild. And I think I have a lot more. I'll think of some more. I just read so many over the years. I mean, I started the first book I read was Tony Robbins, Secrets of Money, right? And then that at least put me on to like how I can use money to make me money instead of time to make me money. Because I used to like work a lot. I was like, I cannot work this much. I'm gonna die. And then I like did the math. I was like it's not even possible for me to save if I work. So I had to like learn like I didn't, instead of doing like addition subtraction, which is basically like you can live your life, manage your budget, addition subtraction. But if you want to like get financial free, you have to start learning how to do multiplication. And that's where investing comes into play. Notice Bitcoin was an anti-banking coin. Now Wall Street loves Bitcoin and selling securities. Yeah, it's a phased approach, right? Because they know in the beginning, when it was 2010, they knew exactly who they were appealing to. I mean, I was a part of this crowd, right? The libertarian like movement, like the financial autonomous movement. It's kind of right off the back of what do you call it? Occupy Wall Street. Remember that? Occupy Wall Street right after the great financial crisis. I mean, I went to a couple of those marches, man. Like I was about it. And all of a sudden, this perfect new form of money pops out that's gonna attract these kinds of people who are very like disgruntled with it. But they knew they couldn't like be associated right away, right? So we'll see. Now, what I do think is this: the whole decentralized nature of crypto will ultimately be its saving grace. The fact that we have choices. Whoever talks just Maxiism and just like maxi one coin to rule them all, they don't understand the dangers of having one coin. That's why, forking is very important. I'm not loyal to any single coin. I think certain coins have certain use cases. It's good to have choice. It's always good to have choice because it's hard to control a multitude of coins versus a single one. 42 people, what's up? Okay, man, it's been an hour 13. It's been fun. I come up on here twice a week, mainly. Tuesdays, Thursdays, 12 p.m.-ish Pacific Standard Time. Make sure to check out some of those books that we talked about. It will pay you back, whether it's in crypto or any other kind of endeavor you have in business or in life. You want to pay yourself first, and that's the treasure they can never take. But until next time, guys, I'll talk to you later. Peace.